All right. Good morning, California. Welcome and thank you for tuning in to the California Citizens Redistricting Commission Communities of Interest Input Meeting. I'm Commissioner Sarah Sadwani, and I'll be co-chairing today's meeting with Commissioner Linda Akutagawa. First, we'll begin by taking roll call. Alvaro?
Yes, Chair. We'll start the roll call now. Commissioner Ahmad?
Here.
Commissioner Kutagawa?
Here.
Commissioner Anderson? Commissioner Fernandez?
Presente.
Commissioner Fornashari? Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Lamons? Commissioner Sadwani?
Here.
Commissioner Sanai?
Sorry, here.
Thank you. Commissioner Taylor? Commissioner Toledo? I see you there, Commissioner Toledo, so I will go ahead and put you down as present.
Present. Sorry, I was having issues with my audio.
No
Thank
worries.
you.
Commissioner Turner? Commissioner Vasquez? And Commissioner Yee?
Here.
Thank you. Roll call is complete, Chair.
Great. Thanks so much, Alvaro. I'll start by sharing a little bit about the commission. Every 10 years after the federal government publishes updated census information, California must redraw the boundaries of its congressional, state senate, state assembly, and state board of equalization districts so that the districts correctly reflect the state's population. In 2008, California voters authorized the creation of the commission when they passed the Voters First Act. It authorized the commission to draw the new district lines for state assembly, state senate, and state board of equalization districts. In 2010, the Congressional Voters First Act added the responsibility of drawing congressional districts to the commission. The 14-member commission is made up of 5 Republicans, 5 Democrats, and 4 not affiliated with either of those 2 parties. The commission must draw the district lines in conformity with strict, nonpartisan rules designed to create districts of relatively equal population that will provide fair representation for all Californians. When we receive the census data, the commission begins drawing maps using 6 line drawing criteria as outlined in the California Constitution. One of these is minimizing the division of counties, cities, neighborhoods, and communities of interest to the extent possible. We can obtain the city and county information from those jurisdictions, but we need the neighborhood and community of interest information from Californians directly. That's why we've launched these communities of interest input sessions, to get that valuable information from you directly. We encourage all Californians to participate in this process. If you'd rather submit community of interest input over the internet, you can do so from our website or by visiting drawmycacommunity.org. Skip the line, go online. Now I'll call on all commissioners to introduce themselves and to say hello. To see the biographies for all 14 commissioners for additional information or to sign up for our emails, please visit our website at wedrawthelinesca.org. Please also follow the California Citizens Redistricting Commission on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube at WeDrawTheLinesCA is our handle for most of those. Again, at WeDrawTheLinesCA. There you will find a lot of useful information about redistricting and updates from the California Commission. We'll begin with my co-chair, Commissioner Akutagawa.
All right, thank you. Welcome, California. We're glad that you're joining us. We're looking forward to hearing more communities of interest input from all of you, and particularly for those of you from Orange County, my current hometown. Really definitely looking forward to hearing what you all have to say about the county. So thank you, and look forward to hearing from you again.
Great, thank you. And Commissioner Ahmed.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very excited to hear about your communities down in Orange County, and I look forward to a great meeting.
Thank you. Commissioner Anderson. I think she's not here actually today. Commissioner Fernandez.
Buenos días, California. Soy Alicia Fernández del condado de Yolo y estoy muy interesada a escuchar acerca de sus comunidades, especialmente en la comunidad de Orange. Good morning, California. I'm Alicia Fernández from Yolo County, and I'm very excited to hear about all of your communities, especially those from Orange County.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Kennedy.
Good morning, California. I'm Ray Kennedy, joining the meeting from my home in Morongo Valley. We are one of the rural Joshua Tree Gateway communities in southern San Bernardino County. Happy to be here. Look forward to hearing about your community and what makes it special to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Lamont, I don't know if he's here today. I think not. Okay. Commissioner Toledo.
Buenos días, California. Good morning, California. I'm Pedro Toledo. I'm currently living in Petaluma, California, in Sonoma County, which is wine country. I'm looking forward to hearing all of your community of interest testimony and information, and learning all about your communities, and sharing this lovely morning with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Sinai.
Thank you, Chair. Saludos a uno de las 4 áreas que yo he vivido y he llamado mi casa, donde he vivido, de California. Es un honor servirles desde San Diego. Soy Patricia Sinai. Hi, welcome, hello. It's fun to say hello to one of the 4 counties that I consider having been a home here in California. It's an honor to serve you from San Diego. I'm Patricia Sinai.
Thank you. Commissioner Turner. Oh, is Commissioner Turner not with us this morning? My apologies. Commissioner Vasquez, is she joining us today? We have a lot of people that are either joining late or and unable to be with us. And finally, Commissioner Yee.
Good morning, California. Good morning, Orange County. I'm Russell Yee here in my hometown of Oakland. And one thing Oakland lacks is a 99 Ranch Market. And since Orange County is the birthplace of the 99 Ranch Market, anyone connected to that, please come to Oakland. I will shop there all the time if you do. Looking forward to hearing about your communities today. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. And myself, Sarah Sadwani. I'm calling in today from my home in La Cañada, right in the foothills of the Angeles National Forest. And over the years, I've spent a lot of time in various parts of Orange County. So looking forward to hearing more about your communities of interest. A few housekeeping rules. This meeting is primarily for communities of interest testimony focused on Orange County and surrounding areas. However, anyone in California can call in to provide input. General public comment will take place at the end of the meeting. Although the Commission has divided up California into 11 zones, that in no way is related to or reflective of redistricting lines or boundaries. The Commission created the zones to assist commissioners and staff in their outreach efforts only, not as an indication of any planned boundaries. Today, we're joined by our line drawing team, Haystack DNA and Q2 Data and Research LLC, who will be displaying a map of the area that attendees describe. Please start with the area you would like to discuss and be as specific as possible about the boundaries of where your community is located. It's our goal to find the area on the map you would like to discuss prior to your testimony. If you are within a specific neighborhood of a large city, please mention it by name. Once we are able to locate your area, your 3-minute timer will begin. Attendees will not be able to share their screen. We're also joined by Katie, our comment moderator, who will be introducing attendees when it is their turn to speak. When you join the meeting, please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the queue. If you've registered for a time slot, we encourage you to call in during your appointment time slot. When it's your turn to speak, Katie, our comment moderator, will be identifying you by your assigned unique ID number. You'll be reconnected to the session with the ability to enable your video and/or audio. The comment moderator will assign you a speaker order number before you begin speaking. And please make note of this for future reference. You'll be able to use this number to identify your COI testimony on our website at a future date. The Commission will be enforcing a 3-minute time limit. There will be a warning at 30 seconds and at 15 seconds remaining. At the beginning of your input, you will see a map on the screen. Please remind the mapper what area you would like to see on the screen and be as specific as possible about the boundaries of where your community is located. Registration is not required to participate in this public input meeting. The public has the option of calling in during this meeting to get in the queue to speak. The call-in information and access code is listed on the live stream. Communities of Interest tool. While there are no clear rules on how to define a community of interest, we've identified ways for you to describe your community. Begin with your county or city. Mention the street names and significant locations in your neighborhood to help us identify the parameters of your community. What are your shared interests? What brings you together? What's important to your community? Are there nearby areas you want to be in a district with? Are there nearby areas you don't want to be in a district with? Why or why not? Has your community come together to advocate for important services, better schools, roads, or health centers in your neighborhood? Also, we invite you to use the Community of Interest tool to draw a map and describe your community by visiting drawmycacommunity.org. Skip the line, go online, submit your COI input today. We will now begin the public input sessions, and I will pass this over to Katie, our comment moderator. We'll start with people who are registered and then open the phone lines if there's time before the next session. Katie?
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning.
Welcome to the public input session. Please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the queue. When it is your turn to speak, you will be identified by your assigned unique ID number, which you were emailed yesterday. You will be reconnected to the session with the ability to enable your own video and/or audio. You will then be assigned a speaker order number before you begin speaking. Please make a note of your speaker order number for future reference. The Commission will be enforcing a 3-minute time limit. There will be a warning at 30 seconds and 15 seconds remaining. It is the Commission's goal to find the area on the map you would like to discuss prior to your testimony. If you are within a specific neighborhood of a large city, please mention it by name. Once we are able to locate your area, your 3-minute testimony will begin. Attendees will not be able to share their screen. At the end of your public input or at the end of your time, you will be reconnected in a listen and view only mode. At the beginning of your input, please remind the mapper of what area you would like to see on the screen. And at this time, we do have lots of raised hands. Right now will be 005, and then up next will be 004. 005, I will be promoting you now. 005, Your speaker order number is number 1, if you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, yeah, I think what you have up there, Orange County, is perfect.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so I'm Lisa Sparks. I'm the founding dean of the School of Communication at Chapman University, which is in the heart of Orange County, and I've lived in Irvine and Newport Beach for the past 15 years. I have a PhD in communication with a focus on healthcare communication and aging, with particular foci on health disparities for underserved populations. I'm here to talk about Orange County healthcare. For healthcare purposes, I'm going to divide the county into 2 groups. First, those who typically have employer-provided healthcare and have sufficient resources to take care of their families. These folks are those who care very deeply about their plans, but are not reliant on the public healthcare system other than Medicare supplements. These citizens typically have solid SES, socioeconomic status, or incomes. In Orange County, they tend to live on the coast in cities like Seal Beach, Huntington Beach, Newport, and Laguna, or in places such as Yorba Linda, Anaheim Hills, Lake Forest, Rancho Santa Margarita, and Mission Viejo, in or near the foothills. Residents of cities like Santa Ana, the flatlands portion of Anaheim, South and Western Fullerton, Buena Park, and La Habra have very different needs. A higher percentage of residents in these regions rely on Medicaid and public health care. They often have inferior preventative health programs, and this is critical and obvious in terms of communication, as many are immigrants whose families primarily speak Spanish. For instance, sadly, Santa Ana and Anaheim accounted for 36% of Orange County COVID cases, yet had only 20% of the population. Many of these people were essential workers. Others just had poor care or were outside of our communication efforts for too long. Healthcare is perhaps the most critical human need, and if our representatives can't effectively communicate with their constituents, then we can't address their needs adequately, and disaster often strikes. COVID is only the latest example that we've all been dealing with, of course. It's no secret that people with higher incomes have greater access to care, and in Orange County, that means folks living near the coast or near the foothills. There, of course, are exceptions to that, like Brea, Placentia, and parts of Fullerton. And certainly Irvine has vastly different needs and issues on the UC Irvine campus than residents in the foothills areas. But for healthcare reasons, I suggest you look at Orange County as a giant sort of V shape. And what I mean by that is those living along the I-5 corridor north of Irvine need representatives who focus on public health access and care, while those on the coast and foothills need representatives who are focused on ensuring private health work for their constituents. And that is all I have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right now we have 004, and up next will be 001. 004, I will be promoting you now. .004, your speaker order number is number 2, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you and good morning. And thank you to all the commissioners for your service to this important function that you're undertaking. The map that's currently pictured is appropriate for my comments. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Patrick Brendan. I'm a former Huntington Beach City Councilman, currently serving as the CEO for an environmental organization that's dedicated to the protection and restoration of coastal wetlands in Orange County. I believe that the 48th Congressional District should include every coastal community from San Clemente to Seal Beach. It makes no sense to exclude San Clemente, San Juan Capistrano, and Dana Point from the 48th District. Our coastal communities need to be unified so that our congressional representative is able to focus on the unique issues affecting coastal Orange County, such as beach erosion, flood control, tourism, and coastal property protection related to sea level rise. Our Orange County coastal communities are dependent on tourism more so than many of our inland neighbors of the current 48th Congressional District. Unifying the coastal cities into a single district will not only benefit the constituents of the 48th, but it will equally benefit our inland neighbors because their representative will be able to focus on the unique issues that they face, free from the distraction and time-consuming burden of dealing with the dynamic, ever-changing, and urgent issues we face along the coast. There's a long history of forming districts that reflect common interests of the constituents within those districts, and I believe there is no place where such precedent is more important than along the coast of Orange County. For the benefit of the residents of coastal Orange County and our inland neighbors, I urge you to redraw the 48th Congressional District to include all Orange County coastal cities from Seal Beach to San Clemente. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right now we have 001, and up next will be 002. 001, I will be promoting you now. 001, your speaker order number is number 3. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video. If you'll please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. This is Art Remne. I need Rossmore, which is in the far western part of the county. There we go. Rossmore, Seal Beach, Los Alamitos. That's the area that I'll be addressing today. Rossmore, as you see there in the pink, is an unincorporated area of Orange County. So that means that we have no local government. Our government is really the supervisory districts. So we present a little bit of a unique situation. The Los Alamitos School District, which includes Los Alamitos and Seal Beach, is our geographical neighborhood, if you will. The school district has 6 elementary schools, 4 of which are in Rossmore. So most all of the city schools, or most all of the students in the 3 cities or 3 areas, go to schools that are within Rossmore. So geographically and representation wise, we function very much as one community. Our congressional district is actually mostly in Long Beach. So that's a challenge for us in CD 47. We would be much better represented, I guess, if we were part of the same district as Seal Beach as well as Los Alamitos. The same goes for both the state and the state representative, state senator, state assembly districts. If we can would have the same representative for all 3 areas, it would enhance the value of the representation for our area. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for your time, and good luck with the rest of your input.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right now we have 002, and up next will be 010. 002, I will be promoting you now. 002, your speaker order number is number 4. If you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Good morning. My name is Michelle, and I'm calling from Irvine, California. You see Irvine there in the central area. I've lived here in Irvine for 31 years in the same home just off the 405 freeway near Culver Boulevard. I raised my children here and have been a member of Mariners Church, which is on the Irvine Newport border, extending closer there to the coast and Laguna Beach. I'd like to talk about the regional level and then the more local. Irvine is literally in the center of the area known as Central Orange County. It's really the basis of where we live most of our lives, right in the center, and we have ties to the communities around the region. Even though Irvine doesn't touch the coast, we have strong connections to our coastal communities like Laguna and Newport. For example, Crystal Cove State Park is sandwiched right between Laguna Beach, Newport, and Irvine. It's a wonderful natural resource enjoyed by all 3 cities. I hike there all the time, and usually I'm there early on a Saturday to make sure I get a parking space, but happy to be here with you guys today. On the other side of central Orange County to the northeast, I'm next to communities like Tustin and Orange. They've become aligned with Irvine with shopping and recreation areas and workplaces. When I moved here, the Marine Air Station was dominant based in Tustin there. Now those military hangars remain, but the air station is gone and been replaced with a major shopping district, my nearby Whole Foods, and lots of new housing. On the other side of central Orange County, a few minutes from where I live, going now a little bit more to the coast, where I live is UC Irvine. And it's been a big part of our communities. It's exploded in growth. Just the last 10 years, enrollment has jumped, nearly 9,000 students. And so you can imagine the university is a big part of our local community, both at the beach and around the campus. So the communities of Laguna, Irvine, and Newport have a lot in common, but these commonalities identify as our central region. Those commonalities don't stretch north along the coast, and they don't stretch south. Irvine's core issues are not the same as places like Huntington Beach or San Clemente. Now I want to shift to a little bit more local level. You may know that Irvine is a master plan community. It was designed that way with housing villages to be distinct and also connected. We often associate with these villages as much as we do our city.
30 seconds.
I live in Woodbridge. Nearby are West Park, Turtle Rock, University Park. Our schools are named after these villages. And these villages really are
15 seconds.
Our normal boundaries. So I urge you to keep central Orange County communities together for our commonalities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we have 010, and then up next we will have 008. And I'd like to invite those who have joined us to please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen indicating you wish to comment. Well, right now we will go to 010. I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number is number 5. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Hi, good morning. Thank you, commissioners. My name is Peter Aziz. I am here advocating on behalf of the Arab American community, specifically looking at the Northwest Anaheim area and up until, I would say, Chapman, just north of Chapman, down Brookhurst, between the 5 and the 39. This particular area is an undesignated business corridor known as the Little Arabia District. Unfortunately, due to the census, our community does not have accurate representation on who our population is. We are not just a population of Arab Americans, but we are adjacent to the Hispanic and Little Saigon area as well. This particular area in Brookhurst is a business corridor that we would like to continue to keep within one district. The 46th, I believe, district of the congressional member, Lou Correa, in my opinion, accurately demonstrates the appropriate districting for this particular region. However, the State Senate 29 and Assembly District 65, I believe, unfortunately does not encompass this particular area and corridor for the Arab American community specific to our district. Now, many of the participants have mentioned a lot of the issues concerning their communities that properly reflect their community. Ours equally does not accurately represent our community in the sense that a lot of our nonprofits are having to pick up the tab, particular to the services demonstrated by this community. Again, we have a lot of places of worship that are overlapping and a lot of nonprofits that work within this particular region that provide a service for our immigrant and migrant population. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, again, the census does not provide an accurate depiction on the Arab American community. So we do not have appropriate data and numbers that reflect the amount of population that either reside in this particular community nor travel to this community. It is a central hub for many Arab Americans and Middle Eastern diaspora. However, it is only reflective of a business corridor that we would like to continue to highlight and amplify in the future come opportunities for future districting. So please consider this when mapping. This is an important region politically. There's a lot of civic engagement that is being done. And this is a community that works adjacent to other communities like Little Saigon and the Hispanic American community. So thank you for your time, and I do appreciate it. And please consider when mapping.
Thank you so much, caller. Can you be a little bit more specific about the key areas that you would like to see kept together?
Just a moment, Chair.
Oh, sure.
You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen, caller. The chair has some clarifying questions.
Yes, thank you so much for staying on. We just wanted to make sure that we have specifically the areas that you would like to have kept together. Could you run through exactly those regions that you would want to have kept together?
Let me look at a map specifically for you. So we have Northeast Anaheim just off of La Palma.
Okay.
And the corridor, it's right next to the Disneyland Convention Center and Anaheim. I would say right before Adventure City off of Ball, which is where it expands to.
Mm-hmm.
Following down Brookhurst just before Chapman Avenue, right before Garden Grove, and to the further east, if you follow down West Ball Road, just before the 5 and near Catella Parallel. This specific area is adjacent to the Anaheim Resort area. There's a number of businesses in this area that are not just Arab American, as well as Little Saigon, as well as Hispanic adjacent communities. There has been specific studies by UC San Diego Center of Immigrant Studies that we've been working with in the past year to produce an appropriate survey and population data in projections reflective of this community.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I think we've got it.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Right now we will have a 008, and then up next we will have a 006. 008, I will be promoting you now. (008), your speaker order number is number 6. If you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Hello?
Yes, hello, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm speaking about the area from the beach area, the coastline from Seal Beach down to Newport Beach, Laguna.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to join the meeting. My name is John Chris. I've been a resident of Seal Beach, California since 1977. I live in the community of Surfside, and I am a director of the Surfside Stormwater Protection Tax District, one of 27 tax districts in Orange County. I am the president of that district at this time. I'm here to talk to you about a commonly shared asset and a major concern, the beach, which for the beach communities is a treasure. The Orange County beaches, we have a problem, and it's a unique problem. And I don't say that just as a matter of opinion, it's a studied fact. Erosion has been a major concern since the 1930s and 1940s. In 1960, the concern was so big that the US Congress directed the US Corps of Army Engineers to research the problem see if they could find the causes and provide a solution if possible. In 1962, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers came up with a study in which they said that the problem at the Orange County beaches is totally unique in the country. And it's unique because the problem is caused in 100% by government actions that have been taken in the past. The damming of the rivers to provide flood control, the construction of the jetties to build the Los Angeles Long Beach Harbor, and then finally the construction of the jetties to create the Seal Beach Naval Weapons Station. These construction projects cut off almost all sand flowing from the inland to the sea, and it caused a complete cessation of sand moving down beach from Seal Beach, Surfside, down the coastline to Newport and Laguna. Congressional investigators passed a law in which they directed the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to provide periodic beach nourishments approximately every 5 years of 1.7 million cubic yards of sand. That was to make up for the natural loss of 350,000 cubic yards of sand. In any event, they directed the Corps to do that every 5 years, periodically, indefinitely.
30 seconds.
Because the problem would be here, continuous. It had to be continued indefinitely. We have been fighting this fight for 25 years, since 1995, because the Army Corps of Engineers stepped away from the project, said they would no longer fund it. And at that point, the project has pretty much ceased. We've had one or two projects performed. What we need is a unified approach to this, a unified message, a unified presentation. The Orange County beach cities.
Time.
Thank you so much. Right now we have 006, and up next we will have 007. I'd like to invite 011 to use your raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen to join the comment queue line if you are ready to give comment. I do see your hand at this time. So right now we will have 006. Up next will be 007. 006, I will be promoting you now. (006), your speaker order number is number 7, if you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Hello, this is Pete Amundsen. I'd like to look at the map from Seal Beach to Newport Beach. Thank you. So I'm calling in to try and keep as much as possible. Currently, the California Congressional District 48 includes most of the beach community here in Orange County. Would like to see that kept together as much as possible. We have a lot of shared concerns, especially going on right now, as you heard with an earlier caller, with beach erosion, bike paths, water quality. We share a lot of same concerns and values, and want to know if we could keep that together as much as possible. And I'm a volunteer in Seal Beach, involved with different communities. I'm not going to say their names because I'm not here speaking on behalf of any of them, but as a volunteer, someone who's very involved in the community, I know there's a lot of aspects, and especially in the north end of Orange County, we want to keep those beaches together because we have a lot of common issue and a lot of common concerns from the beach erosions. These beach erosions don't just erode and stay in Seal Beach. It erodes the sand away in Seal Beach that goes down through Sunset, Huntington, and Newport, even other parts of Orange County. So I want to know if we could keep those beaches together in one congressional Orange County district if possible.
Great. Thank you so much.
Right now we have 007, and then up next will be 003. 007, I will be promoting you now. 007, your speaker order number will be number 8, if you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Hi, can you hear me?
You sure can.
Yes, hi. My name is David Ho. I have lived in Seal Beach for over 10 years. More specifically, I live in a few hundred feet away from the beach in Old Town Seal Beach. First, let me tell you what I have learned about Seal Beach during its centennial celebration in 2015. While Seal Beach is currently known affectionately as Mayberry by the Sea, that was not always the case when Seal Beach was known as Joy Zone and Sin City due to its gambling hall, prostitution brothel, and gun running. Fast forward to the present. Seal Beach shares a community of interest from a few perspectives, with Los Alamitos, the unincorporated area of Rossmore, and the other communities along coastal Orange County all the way to San Clemente. Some of these perspectives include national security, education, and the environment. As to national security, Seal Beach is home to the Seal Beach Naval Weapons Station. Its neighbor to the north, Los Alamitos, is home to the Joint Forces Training Base. As to public education, children in Seal Beach attend schools in the Los Alamitos Unified School District from K through 12, along with students in Rossmore and Los Alamitos. As to the environment, coastal Orange County, including Seal Beach, face issues not faced by more inland communities. They need to be able to address the issues faced by the coastal communities with one voice. Some of these issues include flooding, beach erosion. For example, in Seal Beach, every November, Seal Beach builds its berm of about half-mile long, 9 feet high, to prevent flooding and more soil erosion. Each April, they take it down, but sometimes the city still gets flooded. You can ask local residents who live there or have businesses there, and also Seal Beach is also home to the Seal Beach National Wildlife Refuge, which is within this Naval Weapons Station. And I have visited that on a tour, and I have also visited the Boca Chica Ecological Reserve, and I see the importance of preserving the wildlife at the wildlife preserves. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right now we have 003, and then up next will be 011. Right now, 003, I will be promoting you now. .003. Your speaker order number is number 9, if you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead.
Hi. Hi, my name is Dara Malecki, and I'm here to speak on behalf of small businesses in the Northwest Orange. The cities in that region include La Habra, Buena Park, Cypress, Stanton, South and West Fullerton, West Anaheim, and La Palma. With the exception of Anaheim and Stanton, all these cities touch the LA County border. They are very different from LA cities. LA County residents look to their county government for healthcare, transportation, public safety, and other needs. The two counties deal with small businesses, restaurants regulations very differently, and we've seen that over the past year during this pandemic. Naturally, orange cities look to our county government in Santa Ana and not downtown LA. The Orange County economy is also different from LA counties. The hospitality, tourism, food service are all important in Northwest Orange County because of the Disney Resort, various entertainment businesses in Buena Park, like Knott's Berry Farm, the Medieval Times Dinner Tournament, the Teatro Martini comedy show, the Pirates Dinner Adventure Theater, employ thousands in this district. Beach Boulevard connects the Buena Park Entertainment District with the Disney Resort. We're a community proud of immigrants, second generation immigrants, and in matter of fact, 34% of La Palma, 37% of Anaheim, 37% of Buena Park, 44% of Stanton, 27% of Cypress, 30% of Fullerton, and 29% of La Habra residents are all foreign born. That sets us apart from the OC coast and the foothills, as most of their communities don't share that kind of history. Most important, please don't take a small part of Orange County and attach it to a Los Angeles County like the last commission did with part of Buena Park in the state Senate. Those residents and small business owners will not receive the same level of attention. And as a small business owner, I believe fully that keeping Orange County cities into the Orange County area is important and not attaching it to LA. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we have 011, and up next we will have 012. 011, I will be promoting you now. Zero 011, your speaker order number is number 10. If you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Good morning. If I may please have the map of the city of Irvine on the screen. And my name is Alessia Drozdova. I'm a over 20 years resident of Irvine. I'm also a small, a contractor working in the area. I'm a realtor. And on the everyday basis, I do deal with local residents and see the issues that are coming up. What I would like to speak today to is to please keep the integrity of this district and this community. Even though Irvine grew over 2 times over the last 20 years, and we are considered to be a very, very diverse community, I just would like to stress out that we are one unique community. And there are many conversations about owner, residents, and tenants in the area. Irvine can be considered as really just one unique place where everything is integrated together. We have a unique, diverse demographics landscape, and the overall setup of the city with the residential, commercial, and open spaces balance is really something that the whole country is looking up to. It would be very, very important to keep our integrity together, because what is happening in the South is also an issue for the north of Irvine residents. We've seen some local issues about rezoning, about putting some properties in the open spaces coming up in the past few years. And I cannot stress enough how important it was that the whole community of the whole city of Irvine came together to this. And this will conclude my request to the commission. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Right now we will have 012. And then we will be going on to the callers in the queue, and thank you for your patience and participation. So those that have joined by phone and that have not given comment today, if you wish to get in the comment queue line, please press *9 on your telephone keypad. But 012 will be right now, and then up next will be caller 8392. That is caller with the last 4 digits, 8392. 012, I will be promoting you now. Zero 12, your speaker order number is number 11. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Commissioners. If I could ask the mapper to show us Irvine again. My name is Anthony Quo. I'm an elected member of the Irvine City Council, and I also serve on the board of directors of the Orange County Fire Authority, which is a joint powers agency representing a significant amount of Orange County with regard to fire protection. In the fall, the Silverado fire roared through our community, burning over 13,000 acres, threatening over 69,000 structures, and forcing the evacuation of 70,000 of my city's residents. It was about a third of the city, as well as nearly 10,000 more residents from Lake Forest and other neighborhoods. Over 12,000 personnel were assigned and fought the fire. The 241 toll road was shut down. Residents were out of their homes for many days, and the air quality was awful. The 241 toll road was shut down because of the fire, and the evacuated were out of their homes for days, and lucky ones breathed smoke for several days. Wildfires are a deadly problem in Orange County cities like Irvine, Lake Forest, Rancho Santa Margarita, and Anaheim Hills that back up to the Cleveland National Forest. It's imperative that our state legislattive representatives focus on this critical issue. Without better preventative measures, good planning, and strong firefighting capacities, this will happen again. In fact, the 2007 Santiago fire burned over 28,000 acres in some of the same areas. Climate change makes this situation even more precarious. Having a representative focused on this issue would help Irvine, Lake Forest, Anaheim Hills, Rancho Santa Margarita, and other Orange County cities address firefighting concerns, forest management, evacuation routes, and other aspects of dealing with this kind of emergency. And I'll be working to submit to your staff a map of the fire stations in Irvine, which will have a radius of about a 5-minute response time that helps show the areas that each of our fire stations cover. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller 8392, and up next will be caller 5521. Caller 8392, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller with the last 4 digits, 8392. If you will please press *6 on your telephone keypad to unmute. Caller 8392, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be number 12. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Fountain Valley, Westminster, and Hilton Beach.
Thank you. Go ahead,
Hello?
please. Yes, go ahead, please. We can hear
Hi,
you.
ma'am. Hi, my name is Chrissy. So the 2010 restricting process disfranchised a Vietnamese resident by splitting Westminster into 2 separate congressional districts. This dilutes our voice at the federal level. Today, I am urging the Commission to keep the Westminster intact in one assembly, state senate, and congressional districts.
I believe our caller is done. Hung up? Okay. Apologize. Caller, thank you so much. Yeah, I believe they're gone. Caller 5521, you will be next, and then a caller 6659, you will be up next in the queue. Caller 5521, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 5521, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be 13, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours. Hello? Can you hear me? Caller 5521, can you hear me? Sounds like there may be some reception issues. Caller 5521, can you hear me?
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Hello?
Hi. I want to talk about Fountain Valley, Huntington Beach, and Westminster.
Perfect. Your speaker order number is 13, if you can make note of that. And go ahead, the floor is yours.
Yes. All right. Speaker number 13. My name is Miley. West Little Saigon is a natural economy whose cities are all reliant on each other for commerce and prosperity. This makes Fountain Valley, Midway City, Westminster, Huntington Beach crucial communities of interest for each other. Today, Garden Grove, Santa Ana, Midway City, Fountain Valley, and Westminster are all split up between 3 different congressional districts, CA 46, CA 47, and CA 48. The fact that these places are divided amongst 3 different congressional districts makes little sense considering how connected each of their economies are to each other. Westminster, Midway City, and Fountain Valley should be grouped with Huntington Beach into one single district. It's vital that the business community's voice isn't spread too thin. The small businesses that support the region deserve to have their voting power consolidated and unified, not divided.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we have a caller 6659, and then up next we will have 015. Caller 6659, if you'll please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 6659, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be 14. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Hi, so my name is Henry Chan, and I'd like to discuss Westminster, Fountain Valley, and Huntington Beach.
Thank you.
So
Go ahead.
Under the current district lines, the Vietnamese population is divided into 3 congressional districts. This division disempowers our close-knit community and our leaders from defending our many unique interests, such as cultural, political, economic, and religious. So the Redistricting Commission should consolidate the Vietnamese populations from 3 congressional districts into 2. In doing so, they will ensure that the Vietnamese populations will have their interests properly represented in the federal government. So, for example, the city of Westminster, which have the highest percentage of Vietnamese Americans, are divided into 2 congressional districts. We urge the commission to keep all of the Westminster in 1 congressional district. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will have 015. And I invite those in the queue that have called in and have not given comment today to please press star 9 on their telephone keypad. And I also invite 020, if you would like to give comment during this session, to please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen. And 015, I will be promoting you now. 015, Your speaker order number is 15, if you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Yes, I'd like to speak about Lake Forest. Hello, I'm Robert Pecan, serve on the Lake Forest City Council. Lake Forest is a city of about 85,000 residents on the south side of Orange County. While the commission might be tempted to lump all of South Orange County together, the reality is our community is a very different from a place like Laguna Beach or Newport Beach. Our major transportation corridors run north-south, either the 241 toll road or Interstate 5. We look first to the mountains for recreation, as they are in our backyards, and then to the beach. We share our concerns about wildfires and communities with the communities to the north of us, like Irvine, Anaheim Hills, and to the south, like Rancho Santa Margarita. And we breathe the same bad air and get stuck in the same roads when the fires get out of control. We certainly share an intense interest in policies that will better prevent future fires. In terms of community colleges, we look at Saddleback in Mission Viejo or UC Irvine rather than Orange Coast College in Costa Mesa, which is a wonderful school, but not as close to home. Like Irvine, Tustin, and the city of Orange, we enjoy a diverse population. Incomes in the community that back up to the Cleveland National Forest tend to be above average. Googling some census data, I see that Tustin has a median household income of about $84,000. Rancho Santa Margarita is $121,000. Lake Forest is $109,000, and Irvine's is $105,000. In short, I encourage you to link Lake Forest to the communities north and south of it rather than connect it with the coastal districts and coastal communities that have different transportation patterns and economies that are geared to tourism. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right now we have caller 7618. And then up next we will have 020. Caller 7618, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 7618, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be 16, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours. Hello? Hello, caller 7618, can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm
The floor is
Kate
yours.
from Westminster. I just wanted a moment of your time today so I can speak about Fountain Valley, Westminster, and Huntington Beach. All West Little Saigon is physically connected by the I-405 corridor. The 405 is currently undergoing a major improvement project that will have huge implications on transportation within the region. With some of these renovations being up to 10-year projects, our region needs a unified voice to ensure this work is not only completed in a timely manner, but done in a way that inflicts minimal disruption to the lives of the residents who rely so heavily on it. Today, despite relying on the same roads and infrastructures, Fountain Valley, Midway Cities, and Westminster have sizable Vietnamese populations and are communities of interest along the Huntington Beach. In this redistricting process, Westminster, Midway City, and Fountain Valley should be grouped with Huntington Beach in one singular district. The Redistricting Commission must ensure that these communities are united with one congressional district, not divided, which will ensure that our local leaders are able to assess representation in Washington, D.C. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for calling in.
Right now we have 020. I will be promoting you now. 020. Your speaker order number is 17, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Am I unmuted? This is 020.
You are unmuted, and your speaker order number is 17, if you'll please make note of that. And the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. My name is Jim Thorpe. I'm a former Rancho Santa Margarita council member and mayor, and I'm former director of the 241 Toll Road Board. For those of you that don't know, the 241 is a toll road that runs from Rancho Santa Margarita in Coto de Caza to Anaheim Hills, and also connects the northeastern part of Irvine, a portion of Tustin, and the city of Orange that abuts the foothills and Rancho Santa Margarita. The 241 is a beautiful road that was intended to connect these communities with a toll road from Riverside County to South Orange County. It was intended to reduce congestion on the I-5, but too many commuters and truckers have preferred to sit in traffic than pay tolls they consider too high. The toll road is scheduled to become state property when the bonds are paid off, but when that will be is unclear. Having a single representative focus on solutions for the problems facing the 241 toll road would be very useful to all the communities, and finding a way to finish construction to territory south of Rancho Santa Margarita and Coto de Caza would stop traffic from being dumped into these communities and take traffic off the I-5 as originally intended. I understand it may not be possible to have a smaller district like an assembly seat, but population equally is paramount. Please try to keep in mind all of these cities. Please try to keep in mind that all of these cities are in the same districts so that we can get a focus on making this asset of greater value to the communities of Coto de Caza, Rancho Santa Margarita, Irvine, City of Orange, and Anaheim Hills. And thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much.
And that is all of our callers at this time, Chair.
Okay, great. Katie, could I ask you to read the long instructions for folks that might want to call in? And just so everyone knows, we are up against a break coming up at 11:30. So if you are looking to call in, please try to do so now. Katie?
Absolutely. In order to maximize transparency and public participation in our process, the commissioners will be taking community of interest input by phone. To call in, dial the telephone number provided on the live stream feed. It is 877-853-5247. When prompted to enter the meeting ID number provided on the live stream feed, it is 817-3290-2077 for this meeting. When prompted to enter the participant ID, simply press the pound key. Once you have dialed in, you will be placed in a queue. To indicate you wish to comment, please press star 9. This will raise your hand for the moderator. When it is your turn to speak, you will hear a message that says the host would like you to talk and to press star 6 to speak. If you would like to give your name, please state and spell it for the record. You are not required to provide your name to give public comment. Please make sure to mute your computer or live stream audio to prevent any feedback or distortion during your call. Once you are waiting in the queue, be alert for when it is your turn to speak, and again, please turn down the live stream volume. And we do not have any callers at this time, Chair.
No problem. Well, while we wait for the live stream to kind of catch up a little bit here and perhaps have a few more callers, let me share a little bit more and just provide a reminder for folks to visit our website at wedrawthelinesca.org. And remember, CA stands for California, but it's just that abbreviation. You can also sign up for our emails to learn more about commission meetings, updates, and announcements. Please connect with us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube with the handle at We Draw the Lines CA. There are numerous ways to provide public input to the Commission. COI public input meetings take place throughout the summer. You can visit our website to get more information at wedrawthelinesca.org. And there you'll find a calendar of upcoming input meetings. You can also use the Communities of Interest mapping tool, both available from our website or at drawmycacommunity.org. The online tool is available in English, Spanish, Simplified Chinese, Traditional Chinese, Vietnamese, Tagalog, Korean, Armenian, Farsi, Arabic, Russian, Japanese, Punjabi, Khmer, Hmong, and Thai. Tutorials are also available in those languages. On our website, www.wedrawthelinesca.org, and you can click on Draw My CA Community icon. You can also email us or send us information through snail mail. I see that we don't have any callers at this time. Could we go ahead and do the 5-minute video? And then after that, we'll come back. If we don't have any callers at that point, then we'll probably go to break. Great, thank you so much, and welcome back to the Community of Interest Input Meeting for the California Citizens Redistricting Commission. Katie, I see that we don't have any callers in our queue at this time. Could we go ahead and just read the short instructions one last time? And if we don't get any callers, we'll begin our 11:30 break a little early.
Absolutely, Chair.
Thank you.
The Commission is now taking Community of Interest input by phone. To give comment, please call 877-853-5247 and enter the meeting ID number 817-3290-2077. Once you have dialed in, please press star 9 to enter the comment queue. The full call-in instructions have been read previously in this session and are provided in full in the live stream landing page. And we do not have any callers at this time, Chair.
Great. We'll stand at ease just for a minute so the live stream can catch up. If we don't end up having any additional callers, then we'll head to our break, which was scheduled for 11:30. And at that time, we'll return for our second session today at 11:45. So if you can just let me know once the live stream has caught up.
Will do, Chair.
Thank you so much.
And the stream is caught up, Chair, and we do not have any additional callers at this time.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Katie. So at this time, we're going to go to a short break and we will be back at 11:45. We look forward to seeing folks then. Great. Welcome back to the California Citizens Redistricting Commission COI input meeting. We encourage you to visit the Communities of Interest tool to draw a map and describe your community by visiting drawmycacommunity.org. I'll go ahead and pass this over to Katie, our comment moderator, to continue with public input. We'll start with people who are registered and then open the phone lines if there's time before the next session. Katie?
Thank you, Chair. Welcome to the public input session. Please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the queue. When it is your turn to speak, you will be identified by your assigned unique ID number, which you were emailed yesterday. You will be reconnected to the session with the ability to enable your own video and/or audio. You will then be assigned a speaker order number before you begin speaking. Please make a note of your speaker order number for future reference. The Commission will be enforcing a 3-minute time limit. There will be a warning at 30 seconds and 15 seconds remaining. It is the Commission's goal to find the area on the map you would like to discuss prior to your testimony. If you are within a specific neighborhood of a large city, please mention it by name. Once we are able to locate your area, your 3-minute testimony will begin. Attendees will not be able to share their screen. At the end of your public input, or at the end of your time, you will be reconnected in a listen and view only mode. At the beginning of your input, please remind the mapper of what area you would like to see. And right now, we do have a raised hand from 024, and I do invite 023, if you are ready to give comment at this time, to please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen. But 024, I will be promoting you now. (024), your speaker order number is number 18. If you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Hi, this is India Hines, and the point that I would like to make for why I think the district should be all the way from Seal Beach down to San Clemente is I am part of the Marine Mammal Center, and I'm a volunteer actually. And when I look at the coastal communities, we're very much aligned as far as the mammals coming in from the Seal Beach all the way down to San Clemente. And the Mammal Center of Orange County is all of Orange County. So I do not understand why part of the San Clemente area is, I believe, North San Diego. That makes no sense to me. So I do think that the whole area should be under one bucket. It just makes a lot more sense. They're very much aligned. All the coastal cities in Orange County are very much aligned together. Also, like just the police departments all kind of work together along the coast on PCH. So that's my take as to why I think it needs to be all together.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I would like to invite 023 to use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen. I do see your raised hand. And I would also like to invite caller 4142, unique ID number 018, to please press star 9 to raise your hand as you have called in, if you are ready to give comment. 023, I will be promoting you now. Appears to be some connectivity issues for 023. We'll try a couple more times. (023), your speaker order number will be 19. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Can you hear me now?
We sure can.
Great. My name's Brandon Day, and I want to specifically target the boundary in Monarch Beach, California, between 49 and 48. And I live in Monarch Beach on Camino, on the corner of Camino Del Avalon and Niguel Road, which is the boundary of the district. And I also work in Newport Beach, which is in the 48th district, and that's what I'd like to talk about. As someone who straddles two congressional boundaries, I see the negative effects of not having a common voice represent the beach communities of Orange County. In Orange County, ocean and coastline conservation is of the highest priority and importance to all residents, regardless of their political party. The only way to truly protect these voices is to ensure that they are united in one congressional district, not split in two, as is now the case. California's 48th congressional district should move further south and encompass the cities of Dana Point, San Juan Capistrano, and San Clemente for the beach communities to get the most effective representation as possible. There are three key reasons for this. First and foremost is tourism. As the #1 industry in Orange County, the protection of our beautiful coastline deserves one voice who will fight for clean beaches and protect tourism jobs. In CD 38, travel and tourism employ close to 29,000 people and generates close to $4.5 billion in spending. This is vital. The coastline-driven industry needs to be unified and protected by members of Congress. Also, Orange County beaches face serious erosion issues with sand. Sand replenishment usually happens every 5 to 7 years, but lately hasn't occurred since 2010. The impact of this delay could seriously harm our tourism industry. The second major reason is infrastructure. Coastal Orange County communities and cities have infrastructure and housing issues that are unique to the coast due to housing density issues as well as congestion issues. Highway 1, which starts in Orange County, winds its ways through all of these communities. It's neglected and has specific issues that are currently not being looked at due to split congressional districts. We need a representative that understands these issues and can work with local and state leaders to keep our quality of life high. Right now, being a member of Congressional District 49, I notice that our roads and infrastructure are not being focused on by my current representative because his main focus is Veterans Affairs, which is great. But again, only three cities in Orange County are represented by him in Orange County. His main focus is mainly in North San Diego County. The other infrastructure issue is John Wayne Airport. It is a world-class airport and really unique to Orange County. We need a strong representative in DC that works with the FAA to ensure all of our self-interest for the coastal committees is met. Last thing is climate change. As we can all kind of figure out, the seas are rising. So we need one voice to help us fight on that. We have distinctive issues and we work with specifically the Army Corps of Engineers and the Coastal Commission. And we need a representative who can work with both of those groups. So for these three matters, I respectfully request that Dana Point, San Juan Capistrano, and San Clemente be included into CD 48.
Time.
Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you so much. Caller 4142, unique ID number 018. If you will please press star 9 on your telephone keypad to raise your hand indicating you wish to comment at this time. And caller 9534. If you will please press star 9 to raise your hand indicating you wish to comment as speaker order number 21. And 019, if you will please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen to raise your hand indicating you wish to comment. Right now we have caller 4142, speaker order number 018. No, unique ID number 018. Apologize. I will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 4142, your speaker order number will be 20. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours. Hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Perfect. The floor is yours. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today. And your speaker order number is number 20. If you'll please make note of that.
Thank you. Do I speak now?
Yes, you do. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Jim Bieber. I'm a 15-year resident of San Clemente. Before that, I lived in Huntington Beach, but more importantly, I grew up in the Midwest. I never saw the ocean until I was 17. And when I saw it, my jaw hit the floor. There was nothing between me and Japan except this vast ocean. And over the years, when I lived here, I would tell people, I'm going to the ocean. And people would correct me and they would say, no, you're going to the beach. And I always kind of refer to this when discussing what it's like living on the coast. For many people outside, it's the ocean or it's something. But when you live on the coast, you have a shared vision of the beach culture, beach life. And it's something that unifies people that make a sacrifice to live and move and live in a community by the beach. And it's important to us. And over the course of several summers, I wish to take my daughter to the beach locally and frolic and play in the sand and surf, but there's rocks. And it's kind of a key thing of explaining to her why we don't have a beach. I said, well, we have to have the federal government come in and dump sand, and we have to talk to our congressman. And we had a great congressman several years ago. It was Ken Calvert, great guy, but he was a Riverside guy. And you can only do so much. Getting back to a specific quality of life issue, and it seems small, but it's important, is just sand on the beach. And I would like to have one representative who is devoted to being mindful of the coast, being mindful of the people who have made an effort to live by the ocean, specifically by the beach, and enjoy it. It makes sense. The second lesson that I've taught my kids is gerrymandering and what it's about. And we're all kind of dancing around it. But there's a logic to having one representative that I can speak to improve the quality of my life in a place that I've chosen to live. And for that reason, it's just simply logical that we've just put one congressional member as a watchdog advocate for people who live on the coast. And I appreciate your time, and I hope you do the right thing.
Thank you.
Right now we have 019. If you wish to give comment at this time, if you will please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen. Perfect. 019, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number is number 21. If you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen, and if you will please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Good day. My name is Barbie George, and I live in Newport Beach, California. Coastal Orange County faces unique infrastructure changes, and in order to keep the economy moving, we need a representative that will fight for investment in our roads, airports, and beaches and housing. Orange County beaches face serious questions whether they'll receive federal funding for sand replenishment on our beaches and other important infrastructure projects. The impact of the failure to execute these projects will be obvious and painful, from flooded neighborhoods and ports to shrinking beaches and inaccessible roads and bridges. Separating the coastal communities diminishes their ability to fight for the infrastructure needed to support their economy. They deserve one representative that understands the needs of John Wayne Airport, housing, affordability, and modern infrastructure. Coastal cities are facing a one-in-a-lifetime fight against climate change and deserve to be represented by one member of Congress so they can properly address how the changing climate is affecting their communities. The current separation of these cities minimizes their ability to have a unified voice fighting for their interests in Congress. Coastal Orange County cities face unique challenges that their inland counterparts do not. Rising sea levels are threatening the economy that fuels coastal communities and needs to be addressed by Congress. The California coast is the nation's largest green energy producing economy. And California leads the nation in solar, geothermal, wind, and solar energy production. We need one representative that can fight for modern green energy for these communities. And that's why we need one representative to represent these communities. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for calling in.
And that was all of our callers at this time, Chair.
Okay, well, can we go ahead and read the short instructions briefly?
Absolutely. The commission is now taking community of interest input by phone. Please call 877-853-5247. Enter the meeting ID number 817-3290-2077 for this meeting. Once you have dialed in, please press star 9 to enter the comment queue. The full call-in instructions have been read previously in the meeting and are provided in full on the live stream landing page. And we do not have any callers at this time, Chair.
Okay, great. Well, I do know that there were folks that had more appointments. I see someone just popped in.
We do. That is an appointment. 017. 017, if you are ready to give comment at this time, if you'll please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen, you will be going right now. There we go. We do have a raised hand. 017, I will be promoting you now. Zero 17, your speaker order number will be 22. If you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. And if you'll please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is John Shu, and I'm here to discuss Dana Point, California. Thank you very much to honorable commissioners. And I know it's a lot of hard work to sift through all the data testimony, and I appreciate it very much. In the past, Dana Point was in California 48, and Dana Point got redistricted because of California's steady population increase over the years. But now that the California population is decreasing, I believe that it's quite reasonable and a good idea to at least seriously consider redistricting Dana Point back to California 48, especially because Newport Beach and Dana Point share harbor-related concerns, not only the traditional beach issues and cliff and bluff and beach erosion issues. Second, redistricting Dana Point back to California 48 would certainly help with the harmonization of county, local ordinances, and with federal statutes. I think it's important for the community to have that harmonization, and that's difficult to do, or at least more challenging to do, if you have the beach communities and importantly the harbor communities split either between or amongst counties, different counties. And then finally, it's very important for our federal representatives to have expertise in the concerns that other members of the public have mentioned with respect to beach communities, and as I've mentioned, beach and harbor communities, because there are many federal agencies which could exert their jurisdiction, and their priorities depend on congressional budget allocation. So, for example, Congressman McCarthy in Bakersfield and Congresswoman Judy Chu in San Gabriel, they're both very smart and experienced congresspeople, but to be frank, they and their constituents, they just don't have the same incentive to gain expertise on beach and harbor issues because that's not what affects them the most. and they don't have the same expertise that somebody such as a Congresswoman Michelle Steele or Congressman Jimmy Panetta up in beautiful Santa Cruz that they would have. And I think it's important for our federal representatives to have that knowledge, to have that expertise, and then more importantly, can exert
30
it,
seconds.
can exert it effectively during the budget and allocation process. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we do have another appointment, 014. If you are ready to give comment at this time, if you will please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen indicating you are ready. You will be going right now. Perfect. 014, I will be promoting you now. Zero 014, your speaker order number will be 23, if you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
All right, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
We sure can.
All right, let's start my video. Hi, good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. My name is Al Murray. I'm a former mayor and council member for the city of Tustin and a retired 35-year police officer for the city of Irvine. As a former police lieutenant in Irvine, I'm very familiar with the unique challenges that the city of Irvine faces and some of the natural geographical divisions within it. Irvine has experienced unprecedented growth in the last decade and will continue to develop new neighborhoods in the near future. The Irvine Police Department has planned for this growth and divides the city into 3 distinguishable geographic areas: University area, Crossroads area, and Portola area for providing police services. From the south to the north, they are University, which includes the UCI campus. It has a heavy concentration of apartments and is very different from the rest of Irvine, and also includes an area of mixed commercial and residential zones known as the Irvine Business Complex. Crossroads encompasses residential communities as well as Irvine Valley College, Verizon Amphitheater, Irvine Spectrum, and several other major shopping centers. The University area and Crossroads are more connected to Costa Mesa and Newport Beach in large part because of their proximity to John Wayne Airport. Portola is dominated by single-family homes and is above the I-5 freeway. Portola is a bit more like North Tustin and Lake Forest. Irvine is a planned community, and these 3 geographic areas reflect a thoughtful mix of both commercial and residential development within them. Thank you for the opportunity to share some thoughts about the geographical nature of this community, and I hope this is helpful in considering your redistricting decisions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was all of our callers at this time, Chair.
Okay, great. I believe we still have folks that had registered who haven't had a chance to come in yet. So I wanted to take this opportunity to open it up, as we have done in other COI input sessions, just to hear a little bit more from commissioners about their experiences in Orange County. I remember the last time we were talking with folks from OC, there were a lot of Disneyland stories. I'm curious if anyone has any additional memories or experiences from Orange County that they might like to share. Commissioner Fernandez, thank you so much.
Just more general in terms of work-wise, I think one of my favorite airports to fly into is the John Wayne Airport. And I heard many of the callers have talked about it. And the reason I like it is because it is smaller, everything is there. The rental cars and everyone's very sweet and makes you feel welcome. Plus the area is just absolutely beautiful. It kind of has that little small town feel to it, but it's not a small town feel. So I hear you on the issues with John Wayne Airport, but it's my favorite so far. So hopefully, whatever issues there are do get resolved.
As a frequent flyer out of the Burbank Airport, I'm going to have to beg to differ with you on that one, but but both are wonderful, and I'm sure we're going to get someone calling from Long Beach telling us the Long Beach Airport is even better. Anybody else have any other stories or fun facts that they might want to share about Orange County? Okay, I'm not seeing any raised hands. So with that, Katie, I'm not seeing any additional callers. Could we go to the 20-minute video? And when we come back, we'll check in and see if we have additional callers.
Will do, Chair.
Great. Thank you, and welcome back to the California Citizens Redistricting Commission's Communities of Input session focusing on Orange County. Katie, I believe we have a caller in the queue.
We do, Chair. We've got our appointment with unique ID number 016. If you are ready to give comment at this time, if you could please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen indicating you are there and ready to give comment. You will be going right now. Perfect. We have a raised hand. I will be promoting you now. Where did they go? Zero 16, there you are. 016, your speaker order number will be 24 if you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. And if you'll please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
All right. Hi. Thank you for the Redistricting Commission doing the important work for our state. I am Chris Wynn. I'm a policy analyst for the Anaheim Chamber of Commerce, and I'm going to be talking about the area around Santa Ana, Orange, Anaheim, Fullerton, and Buena Park. So kind of the central northern part of Orange County along the 5. So not only do I work for the Anaheim Chamber, but I was actually born and raised in Orange County, and I've lived in Anaheim for over 3 decades. The Disneyland Resort, Angels Baseball, and the Honda Center where the Ducks play are major employers in the Anaheim area, and we have thousands of small businesses in the area that also rely on the visitors to these venues as customers. So it will come as no surprise that Anaheim's multi-billion-dollar entertainment economy impacts more than just Anaheim. The fact is, Buena Park, Southern Fullerton, even Cypress, and the western part of the city of Orange and Santa Ana all suffered higher than normal COVID-related job losses. And that's because a substantial number of residents of these cities are employed in hospitality, food services, arts and entertainment, and other tourism jobs associated in our city, as well as in Buena Park, which is linked to us by Harbor Boulevard, Beach Boulevard, and the 5 freeway. So transportation is critical to both the customers and employees who use the freeways and public transportation in our area to get to all of these venues. The 5 freeway is the single most critical mode of travel in our area. So we would urge the Redistricting Commission to consider the 5 freeway corridor, which stretches from Santa Ana to Western Orange to Anaheim to Buena Park, as one community of interest. The Metrolink and the Amtrak follow the same path through Orange County as well before going on up to Los Angeles. Now, reducing congestion on the 5 freeway is critical, and data shows that residents know this. due to the cost savings they can achieve, as well as the congestion on our area to begin with. The residents of Anaheim, even Stanton, Buena Park, and Santa Ana are shown to be 3 times more likely to carpool than residents of farther away cities like Newport Beach or Yorba Linda. And finally, Beach Boulevard links Buena Park's tourism attractions like Knott's Berry Farm, Medieval Times Dinner and Entertainment, the Pirates Dinner Adventure Dinner Theater, links those with Anaheim's Disneyland Resort, Angel Stadium, and the Honda Center, where not only Ducks play, but we also have numerous concerts as well. And many people who come to our area visit the attractions in both of these cities. So as we begin to reopen from COVID-19, as we hope to move on as vaccination increases and as these areas slowly increase our vaccination rates, it's imperative that our representatives begin to continue to deal with our longer term issues, dealing very specifically with transportation, and whether that's congested freeways like the 5, Metrolink, Amtrak, carpool, or bus routes. It's essential that we have a representative who's focused on the issues impacting Northern and Central Orange County. That'll help both employers and employees as we focus on the important transportation and economic issues in our region. So I'd like to again thank the Redistricting Commission for its important work, and I hope you'll consider this as a key community of interest in Northern and Central Orange County. Thank you.
So much.
That was all of our callers at this time, Chair.
Okay. Oh, I think I saw someone just pop in.
No, that's actually the appointment that just went back.
Got it. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so while we wait for a couple other callers potentially, let me remind those watching that we again have a very busy upcoming week. We have 3 community of interest public input meetings including next Thursday, July 29th at 4 p.m., which will be focused on Alameda, Contra Costa, Marin, San Francisco, San Mateo, Santa Clara, and Solano counties and their surrounding areas. Registration closes Tuesday at 5 p.m. That will be followed by a COI input meeting on Friday, July 30th at 4 p.m., focused on Los Angeles County and its surrounding areas. Registration closes this Wednesday at 5 p.m. for that session. We have a 3rd COI input meeting on Saturday, July 31st at 10 a.m., focused on San Bernardino and Riverside counties and their surrounding public areas, with registration closing Thursday evening at 5 p.m. This week, we also have a public input design committee meeting on Monday, July 26th at 5 p.m. and a business meeting on Wednesday, July 28th at 9:30 in the morning. You're not required to make an appointment to provide input at the COI meetings. However, it is recommended. You can also call in the day of the meeting. At this time, our meetings are still held virtually, so anyone in California can provide input. Just go to our website at wedrawthelinesca.org for meeting information. And I'm seeing that we still don't have anyone in our queue. However, I understand that we do still have a couple folks that had registered for this time slot. What I'm going to ask is that we play the Spanish language video for folks who are at home and watching. But I would ask commissioners, please stay nearby. If folks jump in the queue during the video, we'll cut away from the video and come back. Great. Welcome back to the California Citizens Redistricting Commission's Community of Interest Input session focused on Orange County. Katie, I believe we have a caller in the queue.
We do. Caller with the last 4 digits, 2016. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time by pressing *6 on your telephone keypad. Caller 2016, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be 25. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Excellent. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. My name is Matt Cortez. I'm a realtor in Orange County, and I'd like to talk to you today about the South Irvine area, as well as the city of Costa Mesa. Now, the city of Costa Mesa and the southwest portion of Irvine, they both have quite a lot of common. They are very economically, socially interdependent, and they also share a lot of the same issues that need to be addressed. And by keeping them in the same district, that'll allow such representation so that these can be taken care of and addressed. So the two cities, they border on John Wayne Airport. Both of them share the same economic benefits and convenience of having an airport there, but they also share some of the same issues, such as traffic congestion, noise coming from the airport, etc. Both cities also share the 55 and 405 freeways, and they also share the 73 toll road. Traffic congestion is a major concern in Costa Mesa and that portion of Irvine, and the residents need to both be able to address that collectively as a district to solve these kinds of issues. UC Irvine campus is also within the region. It encompasses it. They have tens of thousands of graduate and undergraduate students who have graduated, and they've made an enormous impact on the housing market in both cities. And that's a major reason why they have an exceedingly high number of renters in the area. So only 48% of Irvine residents are homeowners, and the percentage is a lot lower if you exclude the area north of the I-5, which are largely single-family homes. Only 38% of Costa Mesa residents are homeowners, and that has a major impact on the quality of life and economic stability and future economic planning for residents in the area. That is a local issue that also needs to be addressed within the district. Both cities have a high number of people who also speak a language other than English. There is a lot of diversity in this area, and so splitting it up would not be the best benefit for the diversity within the district. Retail also plays a major toll in the economy of both areas of Costa Mesa and South Irvine. Costa Mesa, between the two areas, South Coast Plaza, the Irvine Spectrum Center, that is a major economic center, and we have a flow of people traveling to both from both regions. And finally, neither one of these have the same type of economic area as like the coastal cities. But what I want to do is I'm going to submit a map online. Excuse me?
30 seconds, please continue.
Okay. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and submit a map online, but the zip codes in Irvine that fit this description are 92617, 92603, 92604, 92606, 92612, 92617, and 92618. They all live within that same region and share those same issues. So thank you for the opportunity to address.
Thank you so much.
Now is all of our callers at this time, Chair.
Great. Well, we have a little bit of time before our 1:15 break, and I believe there were still a couple more folks that had registered for this session. Katie, could you go ahead and read the short form instructions at this time?
Absolutely, Chair. We do have 3 more appointments for this session. The Commission will now take public comment. No. The Commission is now taking community of interest input by phone at this time. To give input, please call 877-853-5247 and enter the meeting ID number 817-3290-2077 for this meeting. Once you have dialed in, please press star 9 to enter the comment queue. The full call-in instructions have been read previously in this session and are provided in full on the live stream landing page. And we do not have any callers at this time, Chair.
Okay, well, while we wait for the live stream to catch up, and just in case any of those registered want to try and get in before our break at 1:15, let me share a little bit of additional information about the Commission. Excuse me. Just as a little reminder, you can visit our website at wedrawthelinesca.org. You can also sign up for our emails to learn more about commission meetings, updates, and announcements. Please connect with us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And you can find us at We Draw the Lines CA. Again, that handle is at We Draw the Lines CA. There are numerous ways to provide public input to the commission if you miss out on your opportunity to do so today. Communities of interest public input meetings are taking place throughout the summer. You can visit our website at wedrawthelinesca.org to get a calendar of all of those scheduled input sessions. In addition, we have a communities of interest mapping tool, which is available both from our website or at drawmycacommunity.org. The online COI tool is available in English, Spanish, Simplified Chinese, Traditional Chinese, Vietnamese, Tagalog, Korean, Armenian, Farsi, Arabic, Russian, Japanese, Punjabi, Khmer, Hmong, and Thai. Tutorials are also available in all of those languages. You can also email us at the Voters First Act at crc.ca.gov or send us snail mail to our address at 721 Capitol Mall, Suite 260, Sacramento, California, 95814. In addition, as a reminder, requests for interpretation must be submitted at least 5 days prior to the meeting. You can submit your request via email to interpreter.request@crc.ca.gov on the COI meeting appointment form, or call our office to set up that appointment. We, again, have a very busy week in front of us. We have 3 community of interest input meetings scheduled in the next week. Let's see, our next meeting will be held on Thursday, July 29th at 4 p.m., focused on Alameda, Contra Costa, Marin, San Francisco, San Mateo, Santa Clara, and Solano counties and their surrounding areas. Registration closes on Tuesday at 5 p.m. That will be followed by a COI input meeting on Friday, July 30th at 4 p.m., focused on Los Angeles County and its surrounding areas. Registration closes this Wednesday at 5 p.m. We have a third COI input meeting on Saturday, July 31st. It'll be a busy week next week. And that's going to be at 10 a.m., focused on San Bernardino and Riverside counties and their surrounding areas, with registration closing Thursday evening at 5 p.m. This week, we also have a public input design committee meeting. That's going to be held on Monday, July 26th at 5 p.m. and a business meeting on Wednesday, July 28th at 9:30 a.m. You are not required to make an appointment to provide input at the COI input meetings. However, it is recommended. You can also call in the day of the meeting. At this time, all of our meetings are still being held virtually. So anyone in California can provide input. Please go to our website at wedrawthelinesca.org for meeting information. And Katie, I'm still not seeing anyone in the queue.
That's correct, Chair. We do not have any callers at this time.
All right. Any commissioners we have about 5 more minutes before we're going to go to break. We're going to wait, since we did have some folks who were registered for this input session who haven't arrived yet, just to provide them the full access to time in case they want to call in. Do any commissioners have any fun facts, history, experiences in Orange County that they might like to share? Commissioner Yee, thank you so much.
And Commissioner Sinai also. So I have only been to one presidential library, and that is the Richard Nixon Library, and which is also his birthplace and also his gravesite, all together there in Yorba Linda. And he was the first president I remember growing up. I was a little young to understand what Watergate was all about, but I do remember going through that. And although he does leave a mixed legacy, history is still assessing what it all amounted to. Still, first native-born Californian to become president, and resting in peace there, right in Orange County.
That is so true. And I believe after he left the White House, he returned to his home in San Clemente, where he had a residence. I'm also aware that President Nixon was an alumni of Whittier College, which is not in Orange County, but in one of the cities, I suppose it would be a gateway city into Orange County, in Los Angeles County. So thank you so much for that tidbit. That's so true and so helpful to kind of remember the presidential history that resides here in California. Commissioner Sinai, I saw you had something to share as well.
Well, mine's more fun, but when they were talking about Buena Park and medieval times, I don't know if any of you have ever gone to medieval times, but it's definitely an experience. And I remember we've gone a few times, and I was surprised how much more my niece and my daughter got into it than my nephew and my son. But we went for my son's 3rd birthday, and the reason it's so special is the whole family was there, and they take a picture, and usually we're like, we don't need the picture, but I think it's one of our few family pictures where it's got my parents and all the grandkids and the kids and stuff, and the king. So it's just kind of funny if you think about that. It's your one family picture. So I guess we need another family picture, but it is a fun experience even for adults.
Sounds like it's time for you to go back and do another family picture. I've also heard several callers mention the Pirates Dinner Theater, which I have never been to, but I have to admit, I looked it up and I'm really interested to take my kids and family. Looks like a whole lot of fun. So we just have a couple more minutes left here. Did any other commissioners have additional input that they wanted to share about Orange County? Yeah, Commissioner Kutagawa.
I don't know if this came up, but since Commissioner Yee brought up 99 Ranch Market, the question was brought up about where it started. And just a fun fact, the very first store was in Westminster, California. It's no longer there, but they do have a number of stores in 10 states. Apparently, I didn't realize that they had grown so much, but they are at least quite present throughout Southern California, and I do believe in a number of places throughout Northern California as well too, just not in Oakland, unfortunately. I will also make a comment about Buena Park. It was like, as a kid growing up in Southern California, Buena Park was very much a place that I knew well because it was like an expectation. We would go to Knott's Berry Farm. And I don't know if and now I know I'm really going to date myself, but I don't know if anybody remembers, if you grew up in the area, that there was this and I think I might have brought this up before, but this deer park where you could go and it's kind of like an animal farm where you could go pet the animals. It was just all deers, and I forgot what they called it, but it was in Buena Park. And it just, as they've talked about the entertainment district, it is very much that around Buena Park. And so, yes, a lot of what people are saying about the Beach Boulevard being the kind of the connector between the entertainment areas makes a lot of sense. I drive that a lot.
So lots of fun entertainment to explore in Orange County. Hopefully one day we'll have a meeting in Orange County, even if it's not this year. Maybe it'll be in the over the next 10 years. We can go check some of that out. Thanks so much, everyone. We are up against our 1:15 break and the conclusion of this session. I'll let folks know we will be back at 1:30, and at that time we'll be taking public comment. So if folks have an interest to call in and provide additional input, please plan to do so at 1:30.
All right. Welcome back, California, to the Citizens Redistricting Commission Communities of Input public input meeting. This session is specifically dedicated to those that did not have an appointment. However, if you did have an appointment and were unable to call in during your time block, we do encourage you to call in now. We will continue to take public input at this time, and we also invite public comment at this time as well. The phone line for public input and public comment will close at 2 p.m. So any callers that are in the queue at that time, if we need to go beyond 2 p.m., we will. But to make sure you get in the queue, you do need to call in now so that you're ensured to be able to make either your public comment or your public input testimony. I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Katie, our comment moderator.
Thank you so much. In order to maximize transparency and public participation in our process, the commissioners will be taking community of interest input and general public comment for items not on the agenda at this time. To call in, dial the telephone number provided on the live stream feed. It is 877-853-5247. When prompted to enter the meeting ID number provided on the live stream feed, it is 817-3290-2077 for this meeting. When prompted to enter a participant ID, simply press the pound key. Once you have dialed in, you will be placed in a queue. To indicate you wish to comment, please press *9. This will raise your hand for the moderator. When it is your turn to speak, you will hear a message that says the host would like you to talk, and to press *6 to speak. If you would like to give your name, please state and spell it for the record. You are not required to provide your name to give public comment. Please make sure to mute your computer or live stream audio to prevent any feedback or distortion during your call. Once you are waiting in the queue, be alert for when it is your turn to speak, and again, please turn down the live stream volume. And at this time, Chair, we do not have any callers.
Okay. Well, let's see. Just want to see if there's, well, we'll continue on with our vacation and other visit stories. I know some of you do also live in Southern California, and if you do, you might have some stories about some of the things that you've done in Orange County. For those of you who may be in other neighboring counties like the Riverside, San Bernardino, San Diego, Imperial Valleys. If you have any stories, please share those too with us. And then if you're from Northern California or Central California, I think our Central California representatives are not here, but if you are, please share stories, any other stories that you haven't yet shared. And hopefully, if you are watching our live stream, I just want to encourage you, please call in. We do definitely want to hear from you. We do enjoy it, and it's very helpful and insightful for us as we go through the process of this ongoing process of redistricting, and your stories and telling us about your communities is part of that process. All right. Oh, Commissioner Fernandez, thank you.
Commissioner Sinai reminded me of the medieval times. So we did go twice. And the first time we went, I want to say my boys were probably under 10. And I had no idea what it was about. We just, got tickets to go. And so we get there and they start serving us. And I'm like, where's the utensils? How are we supposed to eat this, right? And I start looking around and I'm like, oh, I get it. So I have to admit, I was probably the worst one in terms of getting into it the most with the cup, slamming on the slamming on the desk and eating with your fingers. And my boys kept looking over at me going, oh, I think that's okay. We can eat with our fingers this time, right? But it was so much fun. I got to tell you, it was so much fun, and the jousting and the yelling. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I was probably the embarrassment of my family, but that's what I'm here for. I mean, it was so much fun. I advise anyone that has kids and hasn't gone, you got to check it out. It was great.
I actually went with, I think I was in college when I went, and it was with a group of friends. And I'll just say, even if you're not a parent with small children, you could still go. You know, it is rather fun, and the whole eating with your hands and everything that's going on. It was, you know, just it was it was such a different kind of experience. It was really just a lot of fun to participate in that. So I know we've talked a lot about we've heard a lot about the beaches as well too. And it's interesting, even though we all share a coastline for the beach cities in Orange County, there are slight differences along each of those beach cities in terms of the coastline itself. You know, some are higher cliffs, some are just like in Huntington Beach, definitely Seal Beach, well, I should say Sunset Beach and Huntington Beach, much more easier to access areas to the beaches versus like along Laguna and also along Newport Beach, some more cliffs and, you know, really beautiful places to see. Commissioner Sinai, did that jog a memory for you? All right.
Well, I have a lot. Yeah, I did live in Irvine when I was young, as I shared before. But you just, so a friend of mine, all the way from South Bay, LA. Well, her dad actually, her parents were divorced. And I think her dad lived even further north in the valley. All places we've heard of during our listen sessions. But he had his sailboat was parked outside of the Rusty Pelican in Newport Beach, and we used to just go and hang out on the sailboat. And every once in a while, he would come down and he would actually take us out. But in high school, that was just really fun, just to hang out on a sailboat. And I don't know. But one time we went, and it was my two good friends, and then the one whose dad owned it and her boyfriend. The four of us went, and we went in a Carmen Ghia. So two people drove down in a Carmen Ghia. Two of us drove down in like this car that's almost as small as a Carmen Ghia. And she dropped the keys to the boat. Oh, we went in, we put all our stuff, and then we said, hey, let's go to the beach. And as she's locking up the sailboat, she drops her keys into the water, and it didn't have a floaty on it. So we had to, and this is pre-cell phones, obviously, right? So we had to call our parent, figure out how many coins we could find, to call our parents and tell them, we're going to be late, because we had to wait till someone came down all the way from the valley to Newport to open up the sailboat. And then we were looking for money so we could figure out how to do lunch. Basically, it was the most hysterical, fun memory, but just kind of hanging out all day in Newport until someone came at 9 p.m. and we could get our stuff out.
Wow, that's quite a memory. I just imagining what the look on all of your faces must have been when the keys went into the water and you're realizing, oh no. All right. Maybe that spurred on somebody else to call in, because I see a caller, Katie.
Yes, we do have someone in the queue. I will ask them to please press *9 to raise your hand, indicating you do wish to comment at this time. We do have a raised hand, caller 8057. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute by pressing *6. Caller 8057, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be number 26. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you have an area you would like to discuss, please let the mapper know what that is. And if you have general comment, that is allowed too. The floor is yours.
Yes, I'd like to discuss Irvine, Tustin, Newport Beach, and Costa Mesa. I completely agree with the speaker who spoke right before the break that we had here. And these communities really value their open space. They value the affordability of housing, the quality of life, the mobility of traffic in this region. I'm just extremely passionate about some of these issues. And I think that each of these cities have it as a priority for each of these areas to succeed and exceed in those capacities. And I think that having a leader, a representative, tackle those issues in Sacramento and Washington, D.C. would be extremely advantageous to our state, our county, and our region. And so that's why I think that that community is very fitting. And I just wanted to thank all of you for sharing your time today and sharing your thoughts and experiences. This has been a great experience and very unique to see and hear what your ties to this region and county are. So thank you.
And that was all of our callers at this time, Chair.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in. And for anyone else who's listening in, please, hopefully hearing some of the stories. And as this last caller just mentioned, perhaps some of our stories may inspire you to call in and tell us about your community as well, too. As has been mentioned, the traffic is quite extensive down here in Orange County as well, too. I grew up hearing often about the El Toro Y, if anybody is familiar with the interchanges of where the 5 and the 405 meet down by Irvine Spectrum and near Tustin. Definitely, a bottleneck area. And so I feel like I think some people have mentioned about the way we call, at least down here in Southern California, the ways in which we call our freeways and part of it is, I think, because for many of us, our lives are spent on these freeways. And that's one of the ways in which, we can, just really, I guess, express ourselves about our commutes. And I know when I describe my commute, when the occasional times that over this past year and a half that I've been driving up to my office, and I recently drove up there and I was reminded why I just really hate the traffic here. But when I describe my commute, it's usually a series of multiple freeway numbers that I have to explain versus it's not just one, it is multiple freeways that I take to get up to LA. And part of it is I've become quite creative about how to get from one place to the other, as have, I'm sure, anyone who is living near urban areas, but particularly down here in the LA, San Diego, Orange County, San Diego areas as well too. But I'm just thinking about, just some of the communities. I know that we've talked about trying to hopefully at some point be able to meet together in person. My hope is that if we can meet here in Orange County, I would love to be able to have the commissioners all take a tour of just the various communities that are here and seeing for yourself the not only the different ethnic communities and the kind of geographical regional communities, even within this local Orange County area that has been spoken about, but I feel like food is a theme for all of us. And so I know that when I talk to people about coming and visiting Orange County, I usually just center my recommendations about where can we go and get the best kind of foods from the Filipino, even though this is technically LA County, sometimes because of the borders, Cerritos, there is Little India and his, a Filipino community there. There's in Westminster, there's Little Saigon that's been mentioned. And then in the Anaheim area, there is the Little Arabia areas. There's definitely many places, Santa Ana, but throughout Orange County, places to get some fantastic Mexican food, and also you're going to find some other historic businesses as well too. There's some areas in which you'll get definitely fantastic, especially in Irvine, Korean and Chinese foods. There's Fountain Valley, and throughout, I would say, different parts of Orange County, you'll definitely get some really good Japanese foods. And I'm just also thinking about a Italian market that I know of in Anaheim as well too, that has some really fantastic food there as well too. So hopefully I'm making you all really hungry, and I'm sure that there's going to be someone who's going to be inspired to call in, if anything, just to say you forgot to mention this food or that restaurant. And so if that gets you to call in and give us your communities of interest testimony, I'm happy to invite you to do so. If you want to call in and make public input, please do so. We're about 1:45, so we have about 15 more minutes. Oh, Commissioner Sinai.
I was just, one of the callers called in about how Tustin, it used to be a huge military base, and El Toro, when you brought up El Toro, that was another big base. And our neighbors, when we lived in Irvine, he was stationed in El Toro, and I remember the first time we saw the Blue Angels was an invitation from him to go see them. But it's interesting how much Orange County has changed from active military bases and what's being created by those bases. Yeah, being able to be so close and see how huge some of those hangars are, and how it's it's recreating the Tustin area. I guess it's the North Tustin area, but also the El Toro area. And there's a huge, as you all know, I've worked with the veterans community in Orange County. And so there's a lot of veterans in Orange County and a lot of reserve. And it would be great to hear from some of those folks from the communities, just to understand how they see the area and how districts can affect their issues as well. But yeah, I think it just reminded me when you said El Toro, what a great memory of just seeing the Blue Angels. Now I've gotten to see them in San Diego several times, in San Francisco, but every time I just think of El Toro when I see them.
And actually, because of where we are, every once in a while we will get the flyover from some of the jets, and so I guess because it's only occasional, it's kind of fun to hear them just, literally zip by. I live near Seal Beach, so I do pass by occasionally the Naval Weapons Station as well too, and would, as you have said, it would be great to hear from some of the veterans and even anyone who is affiliated with any of the military installations in that area. Another caller had called in about Los Alamitos and the base that's there. So I'm sure that there are a number of veterans that also live in that neighboring area, even though I believe, I think that is still considered Orange County. I think that's around the lines where, LA and Orange County become a little blurred, but I do believe that Los Alamitos is still considered part of Orange County. So that we have that presence as well too. Also, what's been really interesting in speaking about some of the growth in Orange County, I think the last time we talked about how, probably 25, 30 years ago, we would have been able to have driven around and seen the actual orange trees that made up Orange County. And it was a wonderful scent in the air when they were flowering, and you could smell those orange groves. But there's also been callers that have called in about the foothills as well too, and those have been some areas where we've seen a lot of growth in Orange County as well too, and connecting in closer to some of the Riverside, San Bernardino County communities around there as well too, as there's been greater build outs further inland as well too. So just really interesting to hear, what people have been saying about the different communities in the area. Laguna Woods, if you're not familiar, is also a very large leisure world community. And there's also another leisure world community up in Seal Beach as well too. So just kind of another fun fact there. And of course, shopping.
Yes, and Commissioner Okutagawa, if I may, I shouldn't read things off the internet because, especially as a professor, that's probably goes against the code of ethics. But I'm just looking up some fun facts about Orange County. And you mentioned the Laguna Woods area. We used to go down to Laguna Beach quite often. Again, very different. Like I think all the beach communities, while certainly having shared interest, they all have a different feel to them. But I'm reading this little fun fact that I had no idea about. And again, this is off the internet, so I don't know if it's true or not. But in 1933, an amateur archaeologist who was only 17 years old found in Laguna Beach a chipped skull on the beach. And the skull was considered to be over 17,000 years old. And at that point in time, that was the oldest remnant that could be found in the Western Hemisphere. So it sounds like a really important historical find right there in Laguna Beach. So who would know? Who would have thought that under all the beautiful sand you might find a 17,000-year-old skull? Doesn't sound like something I would particularly want to do when I'm on the beach, but really, exciting to read that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're winding down, and at this point, I guess I do appreciate everybody hanging in there. I guess if you don't mind hanging in there for 9 more minutes, we'll just go ahead and we'll give one more last call. To anybody who wants to call in. We will be closing the phone lines at 2 p.m. Please make sure that you get in the queue so that we can listen to your input before we adjourn for the day. And we hope that we will be hearing from all of you who might be listening in. And again, just a reminder, even if you're not from Orange County, you can still call in and give us public input about any region within California. You do not have to limit yourself to Orange County. Or if you're from Orange County, please, if you have not yet submitted testimony to us, please feel free to call in. We're not scary. Don't be nervous about calling in and talking to us. That's okay. We really want to hear from you. And we'd like to know what you would feel is important for us to keep in mind as we just continue on this process of redistricting. And just want to encourage you all to call in. So I don't know if you all know, San Juan Capistrano is well known for its its mission and I'll be honest. I mean, for all the years. I'm sorry.
It's Headless Horseman Ghost.
Really? I didn't know about that there.
Oh, if you camp there, I remember going there with Campfire Girls. We camped there and they told us all about it right before they sent us to our tent to sleep.
I didn't realize that was part of the lore down there. All I know is, in all the years that I've lived in Orange County, and also, having, been born and raised here, I've never actually gone, I've heard about the swallows, the migration of the swallows to San Juan Capistrano. I have never, though, actually made an effort to go down there to go see it. And I am kind of curious now that we're focusing on all these cities. I don't know if any of you have seen that, done it. And Commissioner Sinai, I think you said that they fly up from Argentina, so.
I used to work for Partners of the Americas, and we'd partner U.S. cities and states and regions with Latin American countries, states, and regions. And we had partnered Southern California and Argentina because of the swallows. And the swallows did the trip back and forth.
I don't know if this will qualify as a fun fact and I will say my caveat is that this isn't from the internet. but this is how rumors do get started. I will admit to this. But I do believe that when I think of places like Mission Viejo and Aliso Viejo and some of those areas, Southern California, but specifically Orange County is actually quite well known for their swimming programs. And I do believe that Mission Viejo has a pretty competitive swim club, and that they've actually sent several Olympians from their clubs to swim on behalf of the U.S. and I think several have actually medaled in the Olympics. Since we're in that Olympic moment, thought I'd just mention that as well too. And actually, this year surfing is part of the Olympics, so that's actually kind of interesting. I haven't watched any of it, but it's interesting to hear that surfing is also part of the Olympics this year. And being from Surf City, USA, it's something that I took note of with interest.
I'm curious, Commissioner Kutigawa, if you know anything about, like, is there competition between the surfers of which beach is a better beach to surf on?
Yeah, I don't think it's quite as bad as what you'll hear about, like in Malibu and some of those other places where you've heard rumors of, locals trying to claim spaces for themselves. And same with, I think, also in the Rancho Palos Verdes area. Mm-hmm. I've heard rumors, but I'll be honest, I'm not a surfer myself. But from what I understand, most people are pretty welcoming. There's also a lot of stand-up paddle enthusiasts in this area all along the coast. My brother-in-law in particular, he and my niece, they compete in stand-up paddle competitions. So that's really quite popular, especially down towards South County, like in Dana Point, San Clemente, around that area. There's quite a bit of that as well going on. So. And then if you come up to like around the Sunset Beach, Huntington Beach, and probably, parts of Newport Beach, some of the callers mentioned some of the tourism activities that are going on. So I see a lot of people trying out surfing and stand-up paddling. Kayaking is also another one that I see quite a bit of things, people just taking either a 1 or 2 person boat out and just kayaking around the harbor, if they're in the harbor, or I think just even down by the beach, it's more just people who are surfing. Maybe another, I'll just speak about this. So I'm a dog person, so I am I call myself a fur mom. And so down in Huntington Beach, there is a dog beach. An unofficial, it's kind of an unofficial official dog beach. So unofficially, dogs are not supposed to, or officially dogs are not supposed to be off leash on the beach, but unofficially, because you have to go down a number of steps and stairs to get down to the beach from up top where people would park. It's a somewhat semi-protected area where dogs are allowed, or dog owners have taken their dogs off leash and allow them to play around on the beach and on the water. So if you are curious as to seeing Dog Beach over by the Huntington Beach Pier, there's some fun times to be seen there as well too. Or if you drive down with your dogs, I think as with anything, well-behaved pets are welcome. And so that's another little fun fact around that area as well too. Okay, well, we are 1 minute from closing up here. We don't have anybody in the queue. You do have a few seconds to get in the queue. Otherwise, what I'm going to just say is I just want to thank everyone who called in and who are listening in on the live stream for joining our Communities of Interest Input meeting today. We do have 3 upcoming public input meetings coming up. The first is next Thursday, July 29th at 4 o'clock. It's focused on the Bay Area counties of Alameda, Contra Costa, Marin, San Francisco, San Mateo, Santa Clara, and Solano counties and their surrounding areas. The next one follows that one. It's going to be on Friday, July 30th at 4 p.m., focused on LA County and surrounding areas. And then on Saturday, July 31st, we will have, beginning at 10 a.m., a Communities of Interest public input meeting focused on Riverside and San Bernardino counties and their surrounding areas. This week, we do also have our Public Input Design Committee meeting this Monday, July 26th at 5 o'clock, and our business meeting on Wednesday, July 28th at 9:30 a.m. So callers at these meetings, Communities of Interest meetings, are not limited to those specific counties. You can visit the meetings page at our website to see a list of additional upcoming COI input meetings at www.wedrawthelinesca.org/meetings. With that, I want to say thank you to everyone for joining us. This meeting is adjourned.